Russian hackers are once again in the headlines, this time for a stealthy and highly sophisticated cyber espionage campaign against Ukrainian organizations. What makes this operation especially concerning is that it didn't rely on traditional malware or flashy ransomware attacks. Instead, it leaned almost entirely on legitimate tools and built-in Windows features, what cybersecurity experts call living-off-the-land tactics. These attacks are incredibly difficult to detect because they blend into normal network activity, leaving behind little to no trace. So, what exactly happened? How were these operations carried out? And what does this mean for cybersecurity defenders everywhere? Let's break down what researchers have discovered about this campaign, how it worked, and why it represents the future of stealthy state-sponsored hacking. According to new findings from Symantec and the Carbon Black Threat Hunter team, Ukrainian organizations were recently targeted in a series of precision cyberattacks believed to be of Russian origin. The attackers didn't go after random targets. They focused on two specific victims, a major business services provider and a local government entity. The campaigns lasted weeks to months, with attackers maintaining access long enough to collect sensitive data and monitor internal systems in real time. These intrusions weren't quick smash-and-grab operations. They were patient, deliberate, and carefully engineered to stay invisible for as long as possible. The entry point? Web shells, pieces of malicious code secretly deployed on public-facing servers. The attackers most likely gained access by exploiting unpatched vulnerabilities, a reminder of how devastating it can be to leave software updates undone. One of the web shells identified in the attack was called Local Olive, a tool Microsoft had previously linked to a subgroup of the notorious Russian threat actor Sandworm. Local Olive isn't just a remote access shell. It's designed to deliver secondary payloads such as Chisel, Plink, and Rusaxstun, tools used for tunneling, remote control, and data exfiltration. Evidence shows that Local Olive has been in use since at least 2021, making it a proven weapon in the Russian cyber arsenal. In this latest campaign, traces of malicious activity began as early as June 27, 2025. Once inside the network, the attackers used PowerShell to quietly disable antivirus scans in certain folders, set up scheduled tasks, and perform memory dumps every 30 minutes. Over time, they expanded their reach, moving laterally across systems, collecting registry data, enumerating files, running executables, and even hunting for password vaults like KeePass. These are classic hallmarks of a well-trained espionage team: persistent, adaptive, and intimately familiar with Windows internals. The term living off the land refers to a hacker's ability to use legitimate tools already present in the operating system, like PowerShell, Task Scheduler, or RDP, to carry out malicious activities. By using built-in Windows utilities instead of introducing foreign malware, attackers can mask their presence and make their actions look routine to monitoring systems. In this campaign, researchers saw the attackers modify registry settings to enable RDP connections, use RDP to access clipboard data, and even install OpenSSH to maintain remote access. They also configured firewalls to allow TCP traffic on port 22, which is typically used for secure shell connections. In short, every move they made was meant to blend in with legitimate administrative behavior. This approach significantly complicates detection, because traditional antivirus or endpoint protection tools rely on identifying known malware signatures, not on spotting normal-looking system commands used in suspicious ways. If you're finding this breakdown helpful so far, take a quick moment to like this video, subscribe to Infosec now, and share it with anyone who cares about cybersecurity. Doing so helps YouTube recommend these deep dive investigations to more viewers who want to stay informed about online threats and digital defense. Let's keep spreading cyber awareness together. Now back to the story. While Symantec and Carbon Black didn't find definitive proof tying this specific campaign directly to the Sandworm group, they did confirm several overlaps. For example, one of the tools found, Winbox64.exe, is a legitimate MikroTik router management utility that was also seen in a previous Sandworm operation targeting Ukraine's energy, water, and heating suppliers in 2024. The attackers also made heavy use of PowerShell backdoors and suspicious executables, but none of these samples have been recovered for detailed analysis. Still, researchers concluded that the activity strongly suggests a Russian origin, both in toolset and operational behavior. The sophistication and restraint shown, using minimal malware, maintaining persistence, and leveraging Windows native tools, are all consistent with techniques used by Russian intelligence-linked groups. This campaign is part of a much larger pattern of Russian cyber activity against Ukrainian targets. Around the same time, Another group known as Gamma was caught exploiting a newly discovered WinRAR vulnerability, identified as CV 2025-8088. The flaw, which scored 8.8 on the CVSS scale, allowed attackers to deliver malicious RAR archives that automatically dropped malware with no user interaction required. All a victim had to do was open what looked like a harmless PDF file. It's a reminder that even simple user actions, like unzipping an archive, can trigger a complete system compromise if the right vulnerability is present. Researchers have also observed shifts in Russia's broader cyber ecosystem. According to Recorded Future, law enforcement pressure from international operations like Operation Endgame has forced Russian cybercriminal groups to evolve. Many are now decentralizing and tightening internal security to avoid exposure, while others appear to be operating under more direct state management. In other words, the line between Russian cybercriminals and government-backed hackers is getting blurrier by the day. Leaked chats and intelligence analyses reveal that senior members of Russian threat groups often maintain personal or financial relationships with state agencies. They may provide stolen data, take on specific espionage tasks, or receive protection in exchange for cooperation. This unofficial alliance, sometimes called the Dark Covenant, acts as a hybrid system of control and collaboration. It allows Russia to harness the talent and tools of cybercriminals when convenient, while cracking down on them when politically necessary. This dynamic is reshaping the underground. Cyber gangs are becoming more paranoid, forums are fragmenting, and operators are increasingly distrustful of one another. For cybersecurity professionals, this means the threat landscape is becoming not just more dangerous, but also more unpredictable. Attacks may now serve multiple masters: profit, politics, and propaganda. What we're seeing in Ukraine is more than just another case of cyber espionage. It's a real-time example of modern hybrid warfare. The blending of criminal tools, state-sponsored strategy, and stealthy living-off-the-land tactics creates a potent mix that challenges defenders worldwide. For organizations everywhere, the takeaway is clear: don't rely solely on antivirus or signature-based detection. Instead, focus on behavioral monitoring, anomaly detection, and strict patch management. The attackers in this case didn't need advanced malware to infiltrate. They just needed opportunity, time, and unpatched systems. As cyber conflicts grow more covert and more strategic, understanding these tactics is the first step toward defending against them. Stay alert, stay updated, and keep watching Infosec now for more deep dives into the evolving world of cyber threats and digital defense.